the middle of a romance apocalypse. There are more single adults than ever before. Marriage is on the decline. The birth rate is at the lowest point in history. People are not connecting and forming real relationships. For the first time in human history, the very concepts of marriage and romance, God, the family, gender, and even our national anthem are under attack. Our American values have been slowly deteriorating and replaced with liberal, progressive values. We're in the middle of not only the romance apocalypse, but a war on our very souls. Speaking the truth is called hate speech. Patriotism is now called racism. Believing in God makes you a bigot. The current state of America is directly intertwined with the current state of our relationships. We are actively enslaving ourselves into a loveless, joyless, genderless future. Men and women of common sense and a moral compass need to wake up to the destructive madness that is being thrust upon us in the name of progressiveness and political correctness, and look ahead to where this ideology and agenda are ultimately taking us. We can make love great again. We can make America great again. But we need to remember who we are. We need to remember the spirit and the values that once made this country and our relationships so great.
This is a struggle for the survival of our nation. And this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy. And we will make America great again.
Hey everyone, what's up? What's going on? It's DeAnna Lorraine. I'm your host, the Red-Pilled Relationship and Dating Coach, and author of Make Love Great Again, The New Road to Reviving Romance and Winning at Relationships. How's everyone doing? It is Wednesday. It is hump day. Mwah. Let's make sure all the channels are working perfectly. I'm going and peering into the Periscope we've got hooked up right now. Perfect. Still a little bit sore throat over here, some reason. Yay! Howdy, bonjour. Glad to be back. Hello, guys. We've got John Juan Carlos in the house. We've got G Money 1996 and Michael Marinko and some more peeps in the house. Welcome. Make Love Great Again, MAGA and MAGA family. How's everyone doing on this fine Wednesday? Yes. Awesome. Well, I'm going to start right now with a little Bible passage, okay, so that we can begin the day with love. We're going to always begin our podcast with love, and then we're going to end it with love as well, because sometimes there's just so much nasty and negative news every day that we have to deal with or we have to read. But we can read it and we can take it in and we can process it. But at the same time, I think it's important to couch it with love and begin it with love, end it with love, and remember that at the end of the day, we need to be beings and examples of love because there is way too much darkness in the world. So the Bible tells us that the world will know us by our love. The greatest testimony that we can be is to love those around us, whether it's family, friends, or stranger. God puts no limits on love. And in speaking with that, you have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. So we have to remember this too. Instead of having the news get us down or get so frustrated with these social justice warriors and crazy feminists and liberals and people who we feel like they don't have their heads screwed on straight, which is true. They're not thinking in their right mind. To get us in a more positive place, it's important to just take a moment and pray for them and hope that they see the light and see the truth. So with that being said, we've got some stories to go over today, and welcome to everybody who just joined the chat room. Pray for America. Yes. Drink lots of water. My throat is like yours. Yeah, something's going around. I seem to have this persistent cough that doesn't seem to go away. And you know what? What I'm also going to do, thank you for all the love, guys. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. So, in some good news today, Trump pulled out of the Iran deal. Yay! What do you think of that? What do you think about Trump pulling out of the Iran deal? Do you think it's a good idea? I think it's a great idea because there was no good in it for the U.S. This was a bad deal. And I believe that Trump knows when something is a bad deal for the U.S. There was nothing good in it. And I think that it was a great thing. He told us that he would probably pull out of the Iran deal, and he did it. That was another one of his promises that he followed through on. And the fact that, again, that Germany and the UK and France was trying so hard to pressure and bully Trump to stay in the Iran deal, that should tell you all you need to know about whether that Iran deal was a good deal or a miserable, pathetic BS kind of a deal for the U.S. That's all we need to know. All we need to know is who's pressuring, and we don't even really need to know why they're pressuring, but as long as we know who's pressuring, then I think we can tell whether he's on the right side of history or the wrong side. Plus, anything that Obama has anything to do with, no bueno. We need to redact ourselves from that. Hello from England. Hi, I'm great. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the show and welcome to the MAGA family. Iran deal was never a good deal. Yeah, bad deal. Bad deal all the way. Hello from Pennsylvania. Hello from England. And by the way, as usual, I stream from the YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Periscope. Everyone tends to like their own thing. Some people like Periscope, some people like someone else, but I read all the chat messages from each of these modules. So one day I want to encourage everyone to just go on one platform, whether it's Periscope or YouTube Live, just so that we have a consistent place and everyone can be friends and family, and we can expand our family more when everyone's all in the same place. I don't want to risk a Cold War with Iran either. Obama was never for America. Deep State is very worried. You know what? It was really funny. So I was in Chicago over the weekend visiting some friends, and we were playing a game called Catchphrase. And it's a game where it's kind of like a hot potato, where you have to say some words to your teammates. There's a word that shows up there, and you have to mime it or say different words or phrases so that your teammate can guess what word is on this little device. And there was a big group of us, and someone kept yelling, destruction, destroy, corrupt, and he kept yelling all these words to try to guess what the word was, and I just yelled out, Obama, and everyone laughed. They were like, perfect for that. Except for, I was there with some liberals as well, and we got into a lot of political debates. You know what was funny is I brought several board games, Cards Against Humanity, and I brought Catchphrase, and I brought another little board game. The reason why I brought them was because I was in a group all weekend long with half of us were conservatives, half were liberals. So I thought, 3 days long with liberals all weekend, we're going to need some distractions to keep us from fighting and being at each other's throats. So if you're ever in that situation, I would advise you to put some board games in your purse or your wallet or store some somewhere, because they can get you guys out of arguments and very heated political debates. So let's see what else is going on in the news today. we've got some interesting stuff going on. Well, the hypocrisy of Eric Schneiderman knows no bounds. You guys been hearing about Eric Schneiderman? What do you think about Eric Schneiderman? Liberals are emotionally driven, not fact driven. Of course. Absolutely. So Eric Schneiderman, I think, is pretty hilarious because this is a guy who was champion. He was a champion for women. He was just commending women's rights, and he was a huge leader in the Me Too campaign and just condoning any kind of violence or sexual harassment towards women. And he was just shaming Harvey Weinstein left and right. And now all of a sudden, he's the one who's actually the abuser. He's the one who's actually the sexual assaulter and committing many acts of sexual violence with numerous women. So why would someone who was such a prominent speaker and leader and advocate for anti-violence and anti-woman sexual assault and harassment, why would he be the one hiding so many skeletons in the closet? Well, liberalism comes to mind, right? Because Democrats don't know anything other than being hypocritical. They don't know. I don't think they even know how to tell the truth, actually. So let's just look at this real quick and we'll get your reaction. So the funny thing is as usual, Mr. Schneiderman, these guys always have these ridiculous names too. Mr. Schneiderman has cast himself as an anti-Trump. Yeah, the anti-Trumpers are the worst usually. The anti-Trump and a possible backstop to the special counsel's investigation of the president. His resignation left the Dems and Republicans wondering, where does this leave the work his office was doing to oppose the Trump administration? Well, maybe he is busted and called out, so he's leaving, thank gosh. And his past is hilarious, so hypocritical. He spent his career championing women's rights, including supporting legislation to protect domestic violence victims and being an advocate for reproductive rights. This is just hilarious. And he filed a lawsuit against the Weinstein Company demanding justice for those who suffered at the hands of the filmmaker Harvey Weinstein and positioning himself at the forefront of the Me Too movement. This is the Democrat Party. These are liberals. They are walking, talking, breathing hypocrites. They're never to be trusted. They never tell the truth. And typically the ones that scream the loudest are the ones that are the biggest hypocrites. And I don't know about you, but I'm just so damn tired of all this incessant bullying, hatefulness, and hypocrisy of the left. Just to be clear, I'm all for fighting for true equality and empowerment for all humans. And of course, any sane and rational person does not want women to be abused and oppressed. But it's clear that this isn't what they're truly about. They get some sick pleasure out of fooling people. They love double lives. They just love leading double lives. They love leading people on and having this duplicity. In fact, one of the interesting things about the Illuminati, which I'm pretty sure you guys know about, the Illuminati or the deep state or anyone, the deep state, they're all pretty much the same, the people that are in the shadow of government. But they love to wear a mask that is a half of it is Joker face and half of it is a sad or dramatic face. And they love to wear these masks because it represents duplicity. So they love duplicity because that means they're fooling people and living a double life. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. So I'm deep down the rabbit hole of these things, guys. So sorry if this is too conspiracy theory for you, but it is true. There's too much information out there. So they typically wear masks like these to parties and events, and it represents that they like to live a double life. Yes, I can't find the exact mask that they typically wear. But yeah, they like to live double lives, okay? So it should not surprise anyone that the Dems are like that too, because they're all part of the same thing, right? Oops. What do you think about that? They all like to live duplicitous lives, and finally they're being a little bit more exposed, which is great. They're finally being exposed for the fraudulent, soulless people that they are. And I just think it's really funny that this guy who's just the leader of the Me Too campaign, just like all of these people, they have the biggest skeletons in the closet, don't you think? What are your thoughts on that, folks? Those who scream the loudest, those who protest the loudest. Liberals accuse others of what they're doing. Hillary colluded with Russia. Hello. Yes, this is what's so funny. If the liberals would just stop accusing people of doing things that they were doing themselves, then maybe, and I'm hoping, that people will finally start waking up and saying, maybe this is no longer the party for human rights. Maybe this is the party that are simply the party of evil and lies. And the funny thing is, this Mueller investigation, which has been going on for a year and a half, has resulted in zero, nada, zilch, no collusion between Trump and Trump's campaign and the Russians. All it's resulted in is the Democratic collusion with Russia and with whomever else. That's all. That's all that it's resulted in. So maybe we can reunite as a country. If we got the Democratic Party out of the way, imagine what we can do as a country when we can just focus on loving each other, uniting, and fighting the real issues that are affecting our country and strengthening our country, rather than catering to all this identity politics, gender politics, infighting between groups and classes, etc. Yes, it is a Saul Alinsky tactic. It's push everything, everything that you're accused of doing, everything that you are doing, you want to deflect. Deflect, 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 and project. Welcome to everyone that just joined, by the way. This is Making Love Great Again podcast. I'm DeAnna Lorraine, and thanks for joining. We have some other interesting things coming up. So I wanted to show you real quick. Interesting that you said rules for radicals, Saul Alinsky technique. So let's just go over a couple of these. Whoops. So we see this duplicitous mask that they wear, and this, even the Brits wear them, and the royalty wears them. Saul Alinsky's 12 Rules for Radicals cheat sheet. Does any of these sound familiar? Here's the complete list from Alinsky. This is, Hillary Clinton has admitted many, many times, and this is not a secret, that Saul Alinsky was one of her mentors. She studied Saul Alinsky tactics. So did Barack Obama. So did Bill Clinton. This is what they do. Rule number 1, power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. Power is derived from two main sources, money and people. The have-nots must build power from flesh and blood. How satanic is that? So this is why they try to build movements, because they want that perceived power. If we think something is a movement, oh wow, a lot of people are doing it. If we think something is cool and popular and fashionable, this is why they have celebrities that lead movements and lead things, then everyone else thinks it's cool because they're sheep and they follow anything that moves, and then the movement is going to be successful, and they think they're powerful. But a lot of times they have a lot less people that are doing this thing than they make it out to be, but it's very effective. Number 2, never go outside the expertise of your people. It results in confusion, fear, and retreat. Well, Dems always stick together, remember. Feeling secure adds to the backbone of anyone, and that's true. This is why Republicans and conservatives really, really need to stick together no matter what at this point. There's so many different factions that are being created in the conservative movement, and it's breaking us up. It's making us much, much weaker. So, what QAnon even keeps saying is that we need to stick together more now than any time. We need to stick together and get over these petty things that separate us, because one thing that Democrats are really, really good at is sticking together. And a few other rules that stick out to me are Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. There's no defense. It's irrational, it's infuriating. It also works as a key pressure point to force the enemy into concessions. And this is so true. This is why you know it's a strategy. They make fun of Trump all day long, every day long. Every single conservative, they just absolutely lambast and slaughter in public view. It's like public slaughtering and humiliation. But they do it because enough times of that, it's a hypnotic effect where people start associating that person with negativity and with embarrassment, with ugliness. Even if there's nothing true about that, there's no facts behind it, people's minds start associating them with those negative pictures. So yes, ridicule is man's most potent weapon. And this is why it's so effective, why people are so brainwashed for Trump. And nothing that you can do, no matter how many facts you give them, they will still see Trump as the quote-unquote orange Cheeto or whatever the hell that stupid thing is. Keep the pressure on, never let up. Keep trying new things to keep the opposition off balance. As the opposition masters one approach, hit them from the flank with something new. Yep, this is what they do. Attack, attack, attack from all sides, never giving the reeling organization a chance to rest, regroup, recover, and re-strategize. This is why we always say, just give Trump a break. Can he ever get a break to just do his job? No, it's one thing after another that they pile on him every day. He can never get a break, and this is why. It's all part of the strategy. It's all part of the strategy. This is another one. This is why gullible liberals are such sheeple. If you push a negative hard enough, it will push through and become a positive. Yeah, if they say something enough times, even when it's not true, gullible people will believe it to be true. Violence from the other side can win the public to your side because the public sympathizes with the underdog. That's one of the saddest things. You know, this is why people were sympathizing with Antifa, or they sympathize with Muslim radicals, even when they're terrorists, because there's enough, they confuse it with sympathy because they're brainwashed. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Cut off the support network and isolate the target from sympathy. Go after people, not institutions. People hurt faster than institutions. Yep, this is why they target conservatives. They want to isolate people from conservatives. They want to ostracize them and cut off their support system and make it be a really uncool, terrible thing to be friends with a Trump supporter or a conservative. Because of this, because it works, because it's successful. All of these are very deep-seated strategies, and they're very successful. And that's the scary thing. They work. They work for gullible people. Tell a lie enough times and people will start to believe it. Adolf Hitler. Yep. Such people, I believe those aren't to be candid, or candor is in their vocabulary, being matter-of-fact, etc. Yes. Once again, it's all about emotionalism, the favorite word of liberals. Yes, emotions always overrule facts. They always do. So another thing about this weekend is so we were all in the middle of an outdoor patio at a bar, and there were 8 of us at this patio, and there was families around, there were people around, you know, it was a back busy patio at a restaurant bar. And we were in a debate, you know, the conservatives versus the liberals. We were in this debate about abortion. And one of the guys was like, you know what? I heard a fact somewhere that said about 60% of girls who have an abortion end up regretting it. And then one of the girls who was a liberal, she was very drunk, she just shouted so loudly. She said, well, guess what? I've had an abortion and I don't regret it. And she shouted it so loud. Everyone around in the restaurant heard it. It was like the music stopped. You know, it was like, whoa, people like almost dropped their beers. It was ridiculous. Hey DJ, welcome to the party. Hey Presty, thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Okay, so let's go over some other news of the day. Turn my light down a little bit because that is really lit up. Oh, you know what? Blasphemy. Check out check out this blasphemous article, which is typical, though. This is typical. Hi guys. So Planned Parenthood, of course, all of this bullshit comes from Planned Parenthood, right? All the bullshit comes from Planned Parenthood. So Planned Parenthood posted this yesterday, or on May 6th, saying, in her book, Trust Women, Peters offers what she calls a progressive Christian argument for reproductive justice, the full and complete well-being of women and girls. What is this blasphemy? Let's see what they have to say about this, Planned Parenthood. And then notice all the clapping, right? This is how you know something's off kilter here. Look at this. A progressive Christian argument for abortion. Let's see what this BS is all about. And this is why I hate Planned Parenthood with a passion, because they spread this disgusting misinformation. Why this Christian minister is advocating for abortion rights. I'd love to see Planned Parenthood, which is probably, this author is most likely not a real Christian minister. Religion and abortion are two topics that have had a complicated relationship with each other, particularly Christianity and abortion. There's usually the assumption that Christians are against abortion and that they think that life begins at conception, and that abortion is akin to murder. And while there are certainly Christians and non-Christians who believe that, Rebecca Todd Peters, an ordained minister and professor of religious studies, says that those aren't really beliefs that all Christians share. Oh, let's hear the lies. Let's go on. In her book, Trust Women, don't you love that name, by the way? Trust Women. Sure, let's just go ahead and trust all women. Believe women, hashtag. Peters offers what she calls a progressive Christian argument for reproductive justice, the full and complete well-being of women and girls. Oh, it's all about women and girls, huh? Nothing about men. And in doing so, she highlights the complex relationship between Christianity and abortion and makes the case for why abortion is a moral issue, but not in the way that you might think. Now, I'm not going to read this whole interview or article, but I'm just going to say, just read a couple highlights and ask you what you think. There's a generalization that Christians are anti-abortion. Do you think that's accurate? And she says, no, I don't think it is. And if you look at the polling data, there are lots of different ways that people identify as Christians, blah, blah, blah. Majority of those folks are pro-choice. But actually, it's really against Christianity, but okay. And the statements of the mainline churches support a pro-choice position. If you look into those statements further, it's a very interesting discussion because the position is largely that abortion is a very difficult decision, and these churches recognize the difficulty of that decision and feel like it's a decision that should be made by women. So again, with the rules for radicals, they say push a lie enough times and make it a truth, and it becomes a truth. This is just one of those examples. And, she talks about the shifting climate and how now is the time to lift barriers. In this book, he described abortion as a moral issue. What does that mean? One of the things that surprised me when I got into this work was that it seems like increasingly there's a group of people in this country who want to say it isn't a moral issue at all. As an ethicist, this distresses me. Oh, she's an ethicist now too, right? Blasphemy. I think there are a lot of things that are moral issues that deserve serious moral consideration. What do we do with our bodies? Who we have sex with, whether we have a child? All of these are moral issues, and I don't think we should blithely go about our business and fail to recognize the moral seriousness of having a child. Now, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, well, isn't it pretty obvious that Christians, it is the Christian approach to believe that birth begins at conception, right? Birth does begin at conception, or a life begins at a conception. And, to make the case for abortion and saying that that is now a Christian stance, or that it's something that a lot of Christians actually believe in secret, that's just another way of trying to get power over to the left and say that, more people believe this than really is the case. So I think that it's just disgusting that millions and millions of people follow these Planned Parenthood Twitter accounts. So of course girls are seeing this and saying, and young Christian girls who are vulnerable or gullible might be thinking, wow, maybe it is a more of a moral thing. And they're no longer trusting their own parents. They're trusting Planned Parenthood's moral compass instead. So blasphemy, I believe. What do you guys think about that? And here's another real quick one. This was also spread by Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, the new era of abstinence. The new era of abstinence. And this is an article that was in the New York Times. And what it is it's basically talking about how, and there is no era of abstinence, by the way, but they talk about how, here's the very first sentence. This is how you know it's more of a smear campaign and it's fake news. But the administration of Donald Trump, who had a child out of wedlock after cheating on his first child and is in a legal battle with a porn star who says she had sex with him. That whole paragraph is the very first opening of this New York Times article. We know it's just a smear campaign. It's a smear fest. You know, now it's going on to basically say that there is a, you know, there's a lot of people out there that want to teach abstinence in schools and in high schools. There are a lot of people that believe that they should be teaching abstinence as an alternative, and it absolutely should be taught. Because right now all we have are places like Planned Parenthood teaching pro-sex and sex positivity and, you know, having children put condoms on bananas in 3rd grade, teaching them all about sexual positions in 5th or 6th grade. So, of course, there needs to be that counter argument. There needs to be an abstinence education. But their argument is that abstinence-only education spreads misinformation. A 2004 government report found that many such curriculums undersold the effectiveness of condoms and made unscientific assertions like that a claim that a 43-year-old fetus is a thinking person. This kind of propaganda also promotes gender stereotypes. Women gouge their happiness and judge their success by their relationships. 100% true, by the way. I can tell you that. It's 100% true. One curriculum taught students men's happiness and success hinge on their accomplishments. Yes, this is a major difference between men and women for the most part. So again, I just think it's really crazy that the New York Times, I mean, all of these, we have to try so hard in this day and age, just so hard to really continue to maintain our moral compasses and continue to stay in the light, because every single outlet, from New York Times to Washington Post to CNN, Planned Parenthood, they're spreading so much negative news. They're saying that they're just spreading lies, like abstinence-only education is bad, saying that that is misinformation, you know, and people are gullible, people are vulnerable, and they're eating that up. When we should absolutely have abstinence education. We need that counterbalance in the morally deprived world that we now live in. We need that more than anything. Uh-oh, it looks like our stream has stopped a little bit. I'm looking into the comments real quick. Their propaganda is used to influence weak minds, says John Juan Carlos. They make millions off murdering babies. Yes. Planned Parenthood is about making money. They have no morals, godless, evil people, right? Well, every day they have 1 million abortions or so, or 500,000. It's really sick. God is crying right now at Planned Parenthood. Johnny Bravo says, if their mother have decided that it is not a time for me right now and I should abort this child, these women would not have been there to advocate for abortion rights. That's very true. That's a really good point, actually. That's a great point. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And speaking of sacrilegiousness, did you guys see the Met Gala? Did you guys see the Met Gala party? I think the streams broke for a second. Okay, I think I'm back. Liberals think that nobody can touch them, right? But when are we going to actually fight back, though? That's the thing. When are we going to actually fight back? If we are the silent majority, we're going to get trampled all over. We're going to. We can't have the silent majority be silent anymore. The silent majority needs to be loud. They need to be loud and proud, you guys. Yep. It's time to be more vocal. Yes, we cannot be silent anymore. Oh, well, thank you. Hi, Samuel. How are you doing? You're back. You're at the party. Sorry, something happened with one of my articles. It's not showing up. Saw something about Fergie was not invited to a party. Okay, so guys, there was a big gala on Sunday, and the actual title or the theme party, it was a big party for celebrities, Holly Weird. And this year's costume theme was called Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination. Can you believe that? Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination. So imagine this. I believe this was so blasphemous. Just look at some of the things that they were wearing. They were wearing things like crucifixes on their heads and Baphomet crowns or Baphomet horns. They were dressed like nuns. They were dressed like priests. And this was all considered cool and funny to them. Just look at it. Let's just watch some of these things. And I think it's really just disgusting. It just shows the level of mockery that Hollywood continues to stoop to. They will, no matter what, they constantly mock Catholics and Christians, and they do it right under our noses with nobody seeming to complain about it. Oops. Thanks, New York Times. Okay, so here's just some of the photos. And by the way, what's up with these stars acting and looking like they have scowls on their faces? Like they looked possessed. Don't they look possessed? They look like demonic. She does not look like the same girl that she did when she first started her career like 7 years ago. She really looks demonic now. She's dressed like the Pope. Well, the Pope is corrupt. Look at this. That looks demonic. Okay, I'm tired of looking at Rihanna. When am I going to see the other pictures? Oops. Sorry, guys. Let's get the other picture up there. And what about cultural appropriation, by the way? Why aren't the PC police outraged at the Met Gala's Catholic cultural appropriation, right? We get all up in arms about a girl wearing an Asian-inspired dress to her prom, and we don't have a public outcry for all of Hollywood dressing up and mocking and appropriating Catholic outfits. Are you kidding me? That are very sacred. I don't know what I need to do differently, but for some reason, it's just when I have this OBS running, this software, it's very, very slow. I apologize. So you guys can look it up. If this is too slow, you guys can look it up. But basically, this was a whole Catholic themed exhibit. But with leather bondage masked draped in rosary beads, a jeweled bustier with its gems strategically placed, and a fuchsia gown inspired by cardinals' robes with breasts mostly exposed. You know, this is them. This is constantly their way of, you know, just mocking Catholicism, mocking the Catholic Church. So you guys should really look at this. It's really disgusting. All of their costumes were just in full display, in full mockery. Baphomets. Lily Collins said her look was chic nun. Why do they have to do this? It's like they can never let any Christian, they can never let the church just have their own thing. They have to just try to ruin and mock everything. It's all Saul Alinsky's tactics. So I apologize, guys, why it's not showing up here, but it's the article that I had before doesn't seem to be popping up. I'm going to go back to the chat room for a minute. Mike, is the same reason you don't see the whole story about Allison Mack posted all over the place. Right. See, Allison Mack is posted nowhere. We're not even hearing about Allison Mack, and they're not even talking about the real actual truth, which is child sex trafficking and female torture. You know, there was literally torturing these women and enslaving them and somehow calling that women's empowerment. Where are all the damn feminists? Where are all the feminists that cry and scream over Trump saying one comment with pussies on their heads? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found with this Allison Mack Nixivim cult story, who are literally torturing women and literally oppressing women. Where are they? Where are the feminists for a female genital mutilation that goes on? Where are the feminists for places like that are really oppressing women? I don't know, Saudi Arabia and other places in the world where we really treat them as second-class citizens. They're nowhere to be found because it doesn't fit the narrative. Will, thank you. You're very sweet. Right, where are the cultural appropriation complainers when you need them? This is why I can't take anyone in Hollywood seriously. I've stopped watching most movies because I can't even take them. I can't look at them. I can't take them seriously. Anytime they say something or have a public service announcement or they want me to do something, I'm not going to do it. And I can't believe that people are dumb enough to still follow in their footsteps like a sheep. They were all over Bill Cosby and Donald Trump, and these guys were even on Harvey Weinstein, even though he's part of the movement, but they don't talk about Allison Mack at all. No, they're nowhere to be found. Muslims don't honor or respect women. Yeah. In other weird news, oh, I love the chat rooms over here. But look up the red carpet Catholic event, the church and the Catholic imagination. That was the theme of this exhibit. It's really disgusting. In other weird news, DJ Khaled Have you heard about DJ Khaled's comment? DJ Khaled was on the radio show the other day, and he says that he does not, sorry, this is a different kind of transition, but it does have to do with relationships, but he does not go down on women, even his wife, because he says that there are different rules for men and for women. So men can have women go down on them, but not women. But not men. Men don't need to go down on women. Men don't need to reciprocate. So did anyone watch this? Let's see this if you guys haven't watched it, because it's pretty disgusting. This is sexist. And I rarely call it sexism, but this really is sexist and disgusting.
Breakfast Club was not only ridiculous, it was just plain sad, okay? So if you guys have not seen the clip, I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip here.
I believe a woman should praise the man, you know, the king. You know, if you holding it down for your woman, I feel like the woman should praise, and the man should praise the queen. But you know, my way of praising is called how was dinner? You like the house you living in? You like all them clothes you getting? I'm taking care of your family. I'm taking care of my family. You know, putting in the work.
So you're saying
Like,
you don't go down?
Nah, never.
All of that to say you don't go down? Come on.
You don't eat the box.
Come on, Khaled.
Oh,
you ain't no
food,
I thought that's what Hold You Down was about.
Nah, well, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
never in life, or did you try it and didn't like the taste?
I don't do that. I don't do that.
Wow.
Not even like for her birthday?
Nah, listen,
Christmas?
She gets, I put in that work. My work is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do my thing.
So now if she told you she don't do that, is that okay?
It's not okay. Because you know what I'm saying?
I'm confused. So
because you gotta understand, I'm the Don, I'm the king. You know what I'm saying?
And she's the queen.
Of the
I'm the
house.
king.
she's the queen.
Of course.
So
I don't do that.
Yeah.
it's not fair.
It's different rules for men. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta understand, like, you know, we you know, we the king. You know what I'm saying? So we, you know, there's some things that y'all might not want to do or want to do. It gotta get done. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do what you want me to do.
So Angela Yee is asking
Wow.
him, you know, is it because you just don't want...
Okay, I can't believe that. To me, that's just so bogus. That's so disgusting. And that's basically like, this is what I can't stand, is that this is a guy who is a huge leading rap figure, or he's a role model. He's an influential person, especially in the black community. And we already have enough fatherlessness in the black community, right? And with males already, there's a lot of families that are raised without fathers, especially around, the figure is around 80% for the African American community, and the infidelity rates are through the roof. And now we have an influential figure like him, who are leading all these millions of black guys who are saying, hey, I'm the king. I don't have to do anything in the relationship. All I have to do is earn the money. I'm the king, and she needs to treat me like a king, and she needs to go down on me whenever I want it. That's a guy thing, and I don't have to do any of that to her. I don't need to love her like that. I don't need to please her like that, because there's different rules for men and for women. Are you freaking kidding me? No, I'm sorry, but if you want to keep a woman happy and have a happy relationship, it means pleasuring both people. It means taking both needs into consideration and understanding that, you know, praise for your woman comes sexually as well as emotionally, and being affectionate with her. And in fact, I would say that guys should be doing that more often, because the more that you do it and you want to please your woman in those ways, the more that she's going to want to please you, you know, and feel that she's appreciated and feel that she's desired. So I would say that he's got it totally backwards, and he's leading, as usual, liberals leading millions of boys astray. And now they're all following his actions and going to go to their women and be like, I don't have to do anything to you. You just do everything to me because I'm the king. And I'm just going to, my way of praising you is saying, oh, nice dinner. Nice dinner? Really? So this is a one-way street. That is oppressive. That is sexist and misogynistic. It's a one-way street. I don't like it. And it's definitely not the way to win any woman's heart, and it's not the way to keep her heart. It's not the way for a healthy relationship. We're spreading so much misinformation about healthy relationships right now. So much misinformation. Again, kids and adults and teenagers, they're starved for good relationship advice that's going to actually help keep a relationship together. And most people are not getting that from any kind of reliable sources. They're certainly not getting it from their parents or from their role models or from celebrities. We need to teach relationship advice that actually works, like compromise and pleasing both partners, making both partners feel appreciated and desired sexually and outside the bedroom, and knowing how to, live a good life as far as be moral and faithful to your partner, but also, and follow God, but also be sexually pleasing to each other as well, and create that passion and romance and chemistry. And it's just not going to happen if you're one-sided. I'm sorry, but that ain't right. And in other news, you guys, there's a sad new challenge, of course, because kids are left alone to their own devices way too much. And where are the parents? I don't know where the parents are, but there's a new challenge out called the deodorant challenge. The deodorant challenge, which is crazy, is spraying deodorant on a friend for so long that it creates burns. It creates second or third degree burns. So they basically just spray the aerosol deodorant onto their skin or under their armpit for as long as they can possibly take it. And at that point, they will scream and they'll have to be sent to the ER. And kids are getting second and third degree burns from this deodorant challenge. It's just another thing that kids are getting up to because there's no parents around or no father around, and all they do is get into trouble. They're not supervised anymore. We're the culture of latchkey kids, and it's really sad. It's really sad, and it's stupidity that we're living in. This is the dumbing down of our culture in real life, in action. The dumbing down of our culture. We are seeing it in action, folks. The deodorant challenge sparks mom's warning. 5 things to know about the deodorant challenge. Well, I'm not going to read all about it, but you guys can get the gist of it. It's really just a shame that we have to even worry about something called a deodorant challenge. Why aren't kids outside playing? Why aren't they playing hide and go seek? Why aren't they doing something, anything, that just involves parents, right? Or involves other friends doing something. Other things that happen are Stormy Daniels. This is a ridiculous story. So Stormy Daniels, which cannot get off of the news because she's an attention WHORE. Stormy Daniels finds a crunchy new way to chip away at Trump. So because she's not getting enough attention already, as if she's not getting enough attention and she's not the center of the news cycle every single day, and because it's not really working and Trump's approval rating is still not going down even with all the Stormy Daniels BS, what she's now doing is she's doing shows. Yes, she's going to strip clubs and she's playing at big shows where she's stomping on a bag of Cheetos in front of the audience as a way to say F you to President Trump. Because a lot of people call President Trump the Cheeto because they're immature and childish and they think he looks like a Cheeto or he's orange, which is very racist, by the way, to judge people by the color of their skin and make fun of them because of their color of their skin, right? I thought that was racist. But no. So what she's doing is she's going to big strip clubs around the U.S., making a lot of money so that she can stomp on Cheetos with her high-heeled stripper shoes in front of everyone and have it be this big spectacle that people are paying a lot of money to go see. I think it's ridiculous. And comedian Patton Oswalt has described the president as a racist scrotum dipped in Cheeto dust. So again, this just shows the just disgusting vileness and the immaturity of the left. And Stormy Daniels too is just becoming such a spectacle. It's no longer about whether or not he had consensual sex with her one time over 12 years ago. I think at this point she's the one who seems like she wants to have sex with him, for God's sakes. She can't get off of the subject of talking about him and in bed with him. I think she's the one who wants to sleep with him. Like, get off of him. Get off of his nuts already. Nobody wants you, Stormy Daniels. And her career is going to be so irrelevant within a few years. True Jew Rue Gordon says, can't make love great. Love does not exist. I vehemently disagree with that. Maybe you haven't experienced love, but love absolutely does exist, and it's an amazing thing when you have love. Love does exist. Yep, she was in a Philly show promoted Penthouse. No, don't stomp on Cheetos. I love Cheetos, especially the jalapeno ones. Yeah, me too. Stormy being promoted by Penthouse. Yep, unfortunately, it is true. These are children in adult bodies. How's everyone doing in the Periscope? It seems like it's a little bit, it's stuck or something. Yes, love does exist. I'm just going to read you a little passage from my book, and then we'll say a prayer. Okay. Going MGTOW for life is selling yourself out. Staying in the same old played out feminist bandwagon is selling yourself out. Putting a vagina on your head and marching around carrying signs that say, I need to apologize for my gender, is selling out. Having sex via virtual reality and porn is selling yourself out. And paying $10,000 for a sex robot is selling yourself out big time. You deserve more than that, don't you? You are worthy of more, and remember that, you are. I know there's a full and rewarding life waiting for you, and that deep down you yearn to fulfill your life's purpose and full potential. You owe it to yourself to have the experience of real love, intimacy, and a deep bond with a ride-or-die partner in crime. And a partner in crime is a good thing, by the way. Love is our birthright, and it simply can't be found in a lifeless robot or computer. As Horace once said, you may drive out nature with a pitchfork, yet she will ever hurry back with your foolish attempt. Don't settle. Don't settle for a life without love and authentic connection. Don't sell yourself out. The answer is love, not hate. The answer is unity, not division. The answer is moving forward, not throwing in the towel and quitting. When I work with men and women who are in their 60s, who finally reach out to me to help them, their biggest regret is never that they wish that they worked more, traveled more, or accomplished more in their careers. It has always been that they never got the experience of being a father or a mother. And they wish they hadn't wasted so much of their time and their lives denying themselves of great love. It's now time that we turn the ship around in the right direction. It is time to end the war between the sexes. It's time to make love great again. For some, it will take work and courage swallowing pride. Now, all in all, we need to meet each other halfway. Both sexes need to step forward and take steps toward each other. Good men who still have hope and love need to nurture that hope and light their torches so that women who want great men and who want to make love great again can see you. Good women who have hope and love need to light their torches too so that the good men of the world can find you and see you. We need to recognize when someone is in this group of people and appreciate them instead of treating them like all the rest. Whatever you may think of President Trump, he repeats a message of unity quite frequently that has so much truth to it and is relevant to making love great again. The men and women of our military operate as one team with one shared mission and one shared sense of purpose. They transcend every line of race, ethnicity, creed, and color to serve together and sacrifice together in absolutely perfect cohesion. That is because all service members are brothers and sisters. They're all part of the same family. It's called the American family. We cannot remain a force for peace in the world if we are not at peace with each other. Having shared goals, values, and a shared mission open our hearts to each other and creates unity and loyalty to each other. When we have a shared purpose, we can transcend those petty differences and focus only on what unites us and not what divides us. This is why Americans used to be so much more united as a country. We shared the common bond of patriotism, and most people shared the same American values. In this case, the shared mission is making love great again and winning at relationships. Now, we need to still believe in love, guys. We need to, or else everything else is doomed. And it starts with us. It starts with the people that still have a moral compass and that still have a sane head on their shoulders and still have a heart left. We can do this, guys. I know we can. And if we hold love in our hearts and be that beacon of love, I know that other people are going to wake up and they're going to start coming over to the light as well. If we give in to them and we stoop that low and we wallow in hate and negativity and feel like it's hopeless, then we've got nothing. And guess who wins? They win. We cannot give hope because they win. We've got to be better than that. Thank you, John Juan Carlos. God bless you too. I like your perspective also. Yes, Periscope keeps censoring the truth. Don't stop. By the way, guys, I just wanted to tell you something. Please make sure. Overnight, guess what happened to me last night? 15,000 Twitter followers got removed last night. 15,000 of my Twitter followers got removed. So please, guys, I'm being shadow banned. Also on my YouTube channel, I lost 1,000 YouTube subscribers in just a week. This is not because of people just unsubscribing to me because they don't like me. This is serious stuff that they're censoring me. So please make sure that you go to my Twitter account at DeAnna Lorraine 7. That's DeAnna Lorraine 7. And my YouTube, which is also DeAnna Lorraine 7. And make sure to check if you're subscribed to me or not, or if you follow me or not. If you are not followed me, then it means that they dropped you, that you were one of the people that were dropped. And I want to make sure all of you guys get my notifications because all of the action takes place on my Twitter account, basically. So make sure you go and follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube if you haven't already, and if you're not getting my notifications, especially, double check to make sure you're still following me. Thank you, guys. You are so sweet. Thank you for all the loves. Thank you for all the loves. Have you guys been Twitter banned before? Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take any last questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Once again, make sure. And you are so hot. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, this definitely happens. Absolutely. It happens all the time with Twitter. I have lost followers like you. Yes, overnight. Well, get a Twitter account just so you can follow me. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, then definitely follow me on YouTube then. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say the closing prayer. Any last questions? Thank you for the loves. Yes, it's actually not a top, it's a dress. See? It is more like a dress than a top. But thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay. I'm going to say the closing prayer now. I pray that more women and men see the light and can open their hearts to love instead of hate, can open their hearts to unity rather than divisiveness, can open their minds to truth rather than lies. I pray for love and protection for our great President Trump and his family and all those working for us, that they remain safe and resilient in the face of so many forces working against them. I pray for all of you and the truth warriors of the world who are courageously speaking the truth and defending the truth, and boldly working to bring those who are in the darkness over to the light. The Lord says, put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the wickedness in heavenly places. I pray that all of you find true and lasting love, and that God puts an incredible partner in your life with you during this journey, and bring you the beautiful family, the love, and all the blessings that you deserve. And lastly, we know that good conquers evil, that love conquers hate, and that together and with God's help, we will make our country and our world great again. Okay, guys, it's been so great being with you today. I will be back on later this week. You are amazing, and I love you. I haven't seen a woman in a dress in a person, and I don't know when. Wow, really? Oh my goodness. I can't believe that women aren't wearing dresses yet. Yeah, it's dress season in Cali. I love this dress. This is one of my favorite new dresses I got. That is crazy talk. Thank you. All right, bye guys. I will see you later this week. Yes, you are in Hotlanta. Mwah. See you soon, guys. I'll see you later this week. Bye. Have a blessed day.